Hello everyone, Yabanda here. In today's video, we'll take a look at one of the newer ASSA models, which is the Neptune. This is a Twin Combi style lock, meaning that in addition to the 6 pins in the main stack, it also has sidebar locking mechanism consisting of 5 side pins that interact with the sidebar. In a moment I will discuss all the internals and show how this lock works. It may be interesting to note that this lock is in a way a modification of ASSA D12 or P600, which are famous for their very restrictive keyway. As you can see, this keyway is heavily paracentric here. This is what the key looks like. Its head is similar to the head of the D12 or P600 keys, which this kind of bitting, it will be necessary to use a deep hook. I will use a deep flat Moki hook. Okay, so now some strategy. For side pins I will use this little flag from the multi-pick. I think it is a MP10. In this lock, the two mechanisms do not isolate from the beginning, which means that after few clicks on the pins in the main stack, the feedback disappears and I will have to go to picking the side pins. Here it is similar. After a few clicks, the feedback on the side pins disappears and I have to go back to the main stack to correct a few pins. I have to repeat this action until I have the clear feedback on the side pins and pick the sidebar. I will know this after 2 marks. The side pins will click characteristically when I check them, and the core will rotate gently after picking the sidebar. Then I will have to get each barrel out of the counter milling that is in each keeping chamber in the core. Alright, so let's see the internals. Alright, here are the guts from the Neptune. In the main stack we have the classic barrels from ASSA, that how they look like, which work perfectly with the counter milling in the core chambers. As you can see, in each keeping chamber we have counter milling. So how to pick barrels with counter milling I have already mentioned in my several videos, previous videos, and there are also several excellent productions on the subject, such as 2 great artichoke videos. Let's take a look at the side pins. Okay, here we have the side pin. Each of the side pins has a tab here that is guided along the bottom notch on the key. Here we have these notches on the key. Okay, and this positions its gate so that the sidebar can retract into its groove in the core. If you take a closer look, you will see that each of the side pins has serrations that interact with the serration found at the gates on the sidebar. Here we have this serration on the sidebar, and it is a really big difficulty when picking. Now I will show the how the side pins works. They need to be set in the one of the three directions, and they need to be lifted to the right height. Then their gates will align with the sidebar, can hide in the core. So as you can see, side pin is interact with these bottom cuts on the key, and they are working like that. Now it's set, and the sidebar can hide into this sidebar groove. Alright, so that's how it works with the sidebar. I will show the key. Here we have the cuts from the main stack. Here we have the cuts from the side pins. That's how it looks. The core. Here we have the sidebar groove and 6 driver chambers. So I think that will be all from the internals. So let's pick this lock. Right, on ASSA Neptune. The lock is working, so let's pick it. Clockwise tension. And we'll start from the lifting these barrels into the milling. Pin number 1, 2 and 3 are binding. Right, let's check the side pins. Number 2 is binding, need to be pulled and lifted. Okay, number 1 need to be lifted, number 3 pushed, number 4 pushed, and number 5 just lift. Right, they are not binding, so we need to correct some barrels. Some clicks on number 3, number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Alright, I think sidebar is picked. So let's pick other pins. Number 2, 3 is good. Number 6. Number 5. Number 6 again, okay. Number 5. Again, number 5. Alright, and we have an open. Nice. So let's get this fella. Okay, forgetting we have some brass rod in the top of the housing, which is a quite nice thing. Okay. Okay, now sidebar and side pins. Okay, here we have the core, housing, and all internals. So that was an ASSA Neptune. That will be all from this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and be good. Cheers.